you want to say your name and what you do in Safe to Say?
Yep, my name is Brad. I sing and play guitar in Safe to Say.
My name is Corey. I play guitar in Safe to Say. Sometimes sing a little bit.
So you guys just finished your first time on the Vans Warped Tour?
Yes.
How was your summer?
It kind of flew by like that. Like we literally, I don't know about all of us, but it felt like the first day was like a week ago. And I think because we were having a blast the entire time. Like it's the most fun I think I've ever had, even outside of just band stuff. Everyone we met has been like the most genuine person, and I think as a band, we've kind of figured it out a little bit more being on this tour.
Exactly that. We finished again yesterday, so the whole thing's kind of a blur. But I'm sure as the weeks go by, we're gonna one, miss it, and two, be thankful for having the opportunity to do it and what it's done for our band and all the friends that we met. You know,
It's definitely like last night, I think around like midnight when everyone was actually starting to leave. It's all these like guys and girls like saying these goodbyes because you don't really know when you're gonna see each other next. And there's definitely friends of ours that like they're from the other side of the world, so who knows? So it was very emotional. It was
not too many tears on our side.
No, there is definitely tears, a lot of crying.
You guys played the Full Sail stage all summer. Did you, it's being one of the smaller stages, did you find that it was harder to get a lot of kids to come out when there's like 70 bands playing all summer?
I don't even really know how to explain this, but Warped Tour is obviously it's such a different thing than just playing club shows. But on top of that, you have to almost play differently. Like your whole mindset going into a set has to just erase, and you got to figure it out from scratch. Our first few sets were like rough because this is so new to us. We've never done it, as well as the demographic is a lot different than what we're used to. So we're like, how do we convince these people to not watch Sleeping with Sirens and watch our weird like grunge emo band do our thing? And after like a week or so, a week and a bit, 2 weeks, you really start to figure out how to make it work. So we watch our crowds kind of grow gradually throughout the whole tour, I guess.
Yeah, on the Full Sail stage, there's some bands that have enough of an audience that they can kind of hold their own crowd by themselves. And one thing that we found effective as a band was before every set, we kind of during sets, Brad would literally call people out. So if someone was walking by going to see whatever, be like, "Hey, guy in the red shirt, come hang out right now." And surprisingly, it made everyone feel really uncomfortable enough to come watch our set. So that was pretty cool.
It's cool though. Like you call these people out, hoping it's not weird, and it's not weird because by the end of the set, you look in the crowd and they're still standing there having a good time, and then they come hang out with you after. So it's like that. I think about 80% of the time, the people that Brad called out would actually come to the merch tent after and say, "What's up?" And Brad would apologize for calling them out, and they'd be like, "No, it's cool. Thanks for telling me to come check it out."
So you guys released it Down in the Dark while out on Warped Tour. It's only been out for like about 2 weeks, but how's the reaction been so far?
It's been super positive. As a band, we were trying to make music that we were happy with, and I could go and talk about that for hours. But we're really proud of the album, and it's really cool to see such a positive reaction. Yeah, it's cool. We've had people from like a wide demographic, different people that are into different genres and different age groups that have like checked it out. Yeah, it's only been positive.
It was kind of nerve-wracking for me. I can't say for everyone in the band, but we definitely tried to push ourselves to be as out there as we could while still being ourselves. So that's always very, very nerve-wracking, especially when you can be in a very judgmental place when it comes to putting out new records. There's kids who are going to want you to sound the way they think you sound, and when you try to do something different, it's like the end of the world sometimes. But I think, I think the more people listen to it, the more they'll start to understand why we sound the way we do now, and why we're going to keep changing the way we sound probably until this band is done. That's just, we're people, so when we change, our music changes. And I think that's one of the nicest things to hear from other people that actually get that. That's been the coolest reaction.
Yeah. It's cool. It's exactly what Brad said.
And then you guys are playing Ontario in a couple days? Are you playing Ontario again?
We're actually doing 5 days. So we're the band's kind of based out of Toronto or around there. So Warped Tour finished on the West Coast. So we're doing 5 Canadian dates on the way back, and that includes Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, I believe Saskatoon, and Winnipeg. And then from there, we have to take this bandwagon that we're currently sitting in, all the way back to Indiana, and then drive back to Toronto.
It's just a lot of driving for the next.
Yeah. So we're basically trying to get our way home, and we're just happy to play a couple shows with our friends in Lake Pacific, as well as our friends in 4 Year Strong.
Did you know like Pacific and 4 Year Strong prior to Van's Warped Tour, or?
So the first shows that this, like, safe to say, ever played was opening for like Pacific on a really on like their first tour, basically, a bunch of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. So we met all those guys like a very long time ago. And when we found out that we were playing Warped Tour and they were playing Warped Tour, it was this big kind of like hurrah moment for all of our friends. Like, we're doing this together. Like, we can share a bandwagon and travel around. So like, that's been super cool. And Josh, our bass player, and I met Alan from 4 Year Strong when he was working on the Seaway record a year or 2 years ago now. So I only met Alan, but we met the rest of the guys on the tour. And they're all awesome.
They're a lot of fun. They're really cool.
Are you guys playing a like CD release in your hometown for it, since you haven't been home?
We definitely will be. We're still kind of working it out right now, so there's no solid date, but we plan to do something special for our CD release.
Yeah.
You guys have spent the past like 3 months doing festival, Warped Tour kind of shows. Do you find it different coming back to now playing a club show to going from having
Here, let me preface. Sorry.
yeah, it's fine. The possibility of having like anywhere from 20 to like a couple hundred kids to knowing that this venue holds 200 and that's the highest you're gonna see.
Let me preface this with, we just finished the first club show since doing Warped Tour about, 20 minutes ago, if that. I'm still covered in sweat. So, how was it?
Can I curse on this interview? It was fucking weird. Like, like awesome. Like, we had a blast, but it was, like I said before, you train yourself to do Warped Tour, so your whole like way of thinking of playing live just changes. And then by the end of our set yesterday at Warped Tour, it's like, yeah, like we finally figured it out. That was awesome.
And then you got to go back to before.
We go back to it, and I'm like, oh my god, it's dark. I can't see people. The stage is.
You can't call anyone out.
I can't call anyone out because they're already here.
They'll beat us up.
Like, yeah, it's like this weird kind of like putting the training wheels back on and like getting back into it. But by the end of that set, it all kind of came back. But at first, it was like, okay, what's going on? This is.
It was exactly like the start of Warped Tour.
So being Canadian, being on Warped Tour, there's people from everywhere, but did you find anything different just purely touring in the States, like because of those fans compared to a Canadian fan?
From a fan standpoint, not so much. Like, music lovers are music lovers, I think. There's definitely like a difference being in like the States compared to Canada. It's not good or bad or anything, it's just like, I don't know if it's,
We were literally talking about this before. Like, we can't put our finger on it because we just got back from Canada today. We're like, we feel like we're at home, but like I don't know why.
Nothing's changed.
Is it in our head, or
this road is attached to the road that we were just on 5 seconds ago? But this feels different. And then you go into the States, and it's like, I'm in America. Like, I know I'm in America, even if you put a blindfold on. Yeah. But like I said, music lovers are the same every single place you go. There's no real difference there. Yeah. It's always also very nice to see Canadians like on the tour. I think like halfway through we started putting a Canadian flag in between our tent and like Pacific's tent, and every so often there'd be someone walking by like, yeah, Canada, and then they'd come over and talk to us.
I met someone, I can't remember. It's one of the shows on the water. It was literally the day when Pokemon Go came out. I remember that. And I met someone that was at the tour, and this is like somewhere in the middle of the States, who grew up or lives 2 streets away from where I grew up in Ottawa. And I was like,
oh yeah,
crazy, yeah.
Yeah, this kid was talking to me, and he's like, hey, I live across the street from Corey's parents' house. You know, like we like
It's like, I don't know who you are.
Like, what? Like, that's so cool. And they're like all the way on the other side of the country. That was always cool.
Yeah, there's like a thing about the Arkells live across the street from Drake's dad.
Really?
One of the lead singers. Yeah, they have a song called Drake's Dad, and like they got him to go in the music video because like he's their neighbor.
That's really funny.
I believe it, yeah.
I believe that.
What's one of the biggest things you think you're gonna miss about like just being on Warped Tour in general, not playing or just like the catering?
Catering, more so for Corey, because like back home, Corey's an engineer. He records bands. He produced all of our stuff, and he's like a slave to it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but he like drives himself to the bone and doesn't eat or see sunlight. So secretly, we're all kind of like, oh my god, like Corey's had 3 meals today. He's outside in the sunlight. He's tan.
Yeah.
He's like energized. So that was cool. But for me, I know it's like a cheesy answer, but like every single person we met yesterday, it hit me, and I was probably like teary-eyed saying goodbye to like most of the people that we became friends with, like with confidence, and from Australia. Go, yeah, those guys, like that was one of the things. Them and Old Wounds from New Jersey, and like New Jersey's so close to Toronto.
We're both wearing Old Wounds shirts.
It's just kind of like I know I'm gonna see you again, but like.
When?
They become when and like they become family so fast.
Yeah.
Like especially on that small stage, everyone has your back.
Well, and you barely get days off, so it's literally every day you're seeing the same.
It's like kind of a shock to wake up today and not see a catered line, and not see tents everywhere, and not see the same. Even if you don't talk to them, just seeing the same faces.
Yeah. It's gonna be weird. Like even though we're done Warped Tour, we're still on tour. So. It still hasn't like really kicked in yet, but I think it's gonna be weird like when I wake up and I'm not in a moving vehicle that's shaking, and like I see 3 people sleeping on the floor, and like so it'll be I think it'll really set in once I sleep in my own bed, which I haven't done. It'll be about 2 months, if not more.
Do you think it'll be strange when you give back your poor bandwagon to Indiana and you have to drive in a car?
Yeah, I haven't driven in 2 months, and I have the responsibility of taking everyone safely home. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So if anything bad happens, it's your fault. It's all on you.
You have it on video, so like
There you go.
save that.
What do you think the best part about being a Canadian band is, like in touring Canada?
I think the cool thing, the only and I've never been to the UK and played in the UK. Like I've been to the UK, I've never played in the UK. But people always say, Americans especially, always say that like playing in Toronto or wherever, Montreal, in Canada, and like going over to the UK, the shows are always good. And I think that's because everyone wants to tour America. That's like what everyone wants to do. So when the tour finally comes to like home for us, and we get to see the bands we like, or it's the same with the UK, like someone finally puts the effort to make the trip there, people are so much more grateful about it. And I notice when we have long gaps in between Canadian shows back home, especially like in Toronto where we're from, if we haven't played there in like 4 or 5 months, the crowd like doubles.
Yeah.
It's not even our friends that are there, it's just like people that are
fans.
Fans.
It's fans.
It's weird. It's so weird. But it's fans like appreciating the fact that we're coming back home to play. And that's like, I'm sure everyone says that's like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
To finally come home and like see people that aren't just like friends and family support you, because you support them, they're seeing growing up.
It's definitely I'd say tougher to be a Canadian band, especially in like this scene that we're in. Because getting over the border seems to get harder every single day, and who knows what's going to happen after this next American election. There might be a big wall on the way, but so there's kind of like a sense of like pride, and like it almost feels like it's somewhat more of an uphill battle. Being in a band's hard no matter what. There's a lot of sacrifice that comes with it, and yeah, I genuinely think it's that much harder because we don't have the opportunity to just go to California and back kind of thing.
As well as like touring the States, you can play 5 major cities and they're all 2 hours apart. In Canada, you gotta like 10-hour drive this way and 20-hour drive this way. Like,
we're in Vancouver. Tomorrow we're gonna be in Calgary. That says a lot.
It's a lot of driving. So I think it's not a disadvantage, but it's definitely like a little speed bump. We definitely have to like constantly push ourselves over.
And it makes you more grateful for
it does.
Any and every opportunity that comes.
Do you think that makes it easier for some smaller like American bands to get their foot in? Because like if you live in New York, you can play New York, Philadelphia,
100%.
and you can play 10 shows in a week. And
I wouldn't say easier.
People are gonna be mad at us.
No, I wouldn't say easier. Just because easier makes it seem like the work doesn't need to be put in. Like you still have to work your ass off to do any of those things. But it's definitely like a luxury to be able to
Yeah.
drive 2 hours and play one city and 2 hours the other,
Because they can play 7 shows, and
Absolutely.
they've gone 3 states, and you play 7 shows, and you've gone our entire country.
Yeah.
to put this into perspective, Corey lives 5 hours away from I do, and JJ lives 2 hours south from me. So these two, JJ's over here, JJ and Corey live 7 hours apart. So just to be in a band the way we do is like so out of the box in itself. And when people hear that, they're like, "Oh my god! Like we just played 4 shows and we didn't drive that far." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's not easy, but it's definitely like a little bit of an upper hand to get from. So, yeah.
Cool. And I have one more question for you guys. If you had to describe Safe to Say to someone that hadn't heard you using your own song or lyric, what would you choose?
You can do this one.
Using a song or lyric? Oh, what the hell? I write some weird stuff. Like, most of it probably doesn't make sense to anyone but me.
Yeah, they're all like. Yeah.
I'm a weirdo. Like, man.
Quote like in constant echo.
No, that's a love song. I can't do that. Because I'm describing the band, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question. It's a cool question. But I'm sorry if I'm
Only rain. Because we run into a million problems, but somehow we manage to get through them. So let's go with that.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Cool. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.